One. And we're back. You're now tuned into the recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. You know how we do every week. We break it down. We chop it up. Everything that went down during the week. And as usual, a whole lot of stuff went down, man. You know, this is actually our first show since the presidential election. And the winner is, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about movies. Shout out to my man Big A, who is back in the building. He's actually got a story to share with y'all. And like I said, man, we here talking about what y'all want to talk about. It's your boy Tommy Guns, alongside my man Dav Noble.
Yo, what's good?
Sha Montana.
What up?
Karev Yah, Heritage Hip Hop.
Salute.
And the man, the myth, the legend, Big A. Welcome back, bro.
What's going on, everybody? It's a pleasure to be back, man. I miss my good fellow family right here.
Yo, shout out to Teresa holding it down. She was a special guest last week. We talked about a lot of stuff. So, but I think the story that's on everybody's mind right now, I mean, you ain't got no choice about it. Who is our president right now? For everybody watching right now, we last week we had our prediction episode where we gave our predictions as to who would win. And the crazy part is I can't say we were right because we were probably right, but you know, until the count from Sesame Street's finished counting up all these ballots, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. We don't know. So Dad, let me holler at you first. Yo, did things go as you kind of thought they would? What's the situation? Can we say that Biden is probably gonna win? Like, what's going on right now? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's kind of going, I guess, as I thought it was gonna go, with the whole plan to kind of say that the ballots weren't gonna work or there was kind of fraud. Like, you know, everybody's been kind of saying, and Trump himself had been kind of leading to this, that if he would be losing, then this would kind of be the strategy he would go. So, I mean, it's close. I'm not surprised it's this close. But if it looks like the way that things are going, it looks like Biden is going to win, because I think all he needs is like I think Nevada and Arizona, and he's ahead in those states. And I don't know. It looks like he could. I don't think he's going to win Georgia or Pennsylvania, but
Georgia's a close race, though.
Yeah,
it's close. It looks close.
From what I gather from the latest news, and shout out to the news for milking this story for everything it's worth. Yo, I swear to God, we're like on a never, like, they're trying to stretch this election out for at least a couple more days. But the last update I got,
within the county.
Yo, they broke it down like on the map. Like, in this county right here is red. In this county right here, I'm like, wow.
Like school to like the county, like to the actual mailman.
Like, from what I last saw, some news agencies actually have called Arizona for Biden already. I believe Fox and AP actually already called it. Yeah. Nevada's looking like it's like, if he gets Nevada, it's a wrap. But he's still leading Nevada. And from what I gather, even I think what they're doing, like, they're alluding, because I don't think they want to say it outright, but like they're alluding to the fact that he might even get Pennsylvania and possibly Georgia. Like,
I don't think he's gonna get Pennsylvania. I think Trump is pretty far ahead, and Georgia's close. I don't know. He could get Georgia, but I don't think he's gonna get Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
basically, it looks like
it's
Biden can get Georgia.
Huh?
Biden can very possibly get Georgia.
Yeah,
I heard
he could.
Yet.
Because,
you know, you're right. I just look at where, like, the most, like, if he's like, Trump is like 60,000 ahead in a certain place, like right now, and it's like over 90, like 99% of the vote or something like that. I'm assuming that, you know what I mean, he's probably gonna win that, so that's what I mean. Like, I think he's got a pretty big lead in Pennsylvania right now. And I think Georgia is the closer of the two.
Shout out to Karev busting out the map real quick on the computer screen. Yo, you know what's crazy? The fact that we're even talking about how Biden could win Georgia. Like, it just goes to show you. I'm going to ask all you guys, like, yeah, I mean, let's be honest. You know, the polls are like, yeah, Biden, but I'm sure, like, I know when election night hit, and even early in election night, part of me was like, yo, Trump, man. I know Trump's gonna, all these Trumpers are gonna come out the woodwork, da 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 da. Like, in the back of my mind, it was there. As a matter of fact, I went to bed thinking like, yeah, Trump probably win. You know, when I woke up in the morning and they were breaking it down, I was like, yo, because I think we actually alluded to it on our show last week. I think what people underestimated was, you know, Trump talks about he has the silent majority, but I feel that, like, the silent majority kind of went with Biden. And what I mean by that is, like, there's a lot, I feel like a lot of people that voted, like, they're not really excited for him. He may or may not have been like their preferred choice, but he was like their choice to get things back to normal. And I think we didn't hear, you know, because they weren't driving around in Biden caravans, so it wasn't out there like Trump. But I think a lot of people kind of slept on people just wanting to get back to normal.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. For what I understand about how the election went, I've been following Roland Martin Unfiltered. I've been following CNN, and I follow Huffington Post, as you can see. And from what I've learned about the election, the civil unrest already has started. We have people actually trying to beat up people in media who are covering the election. we have people breaking down how Biden and Trump did not go to certain people, and that's what swayed their votes. And more importantly, I think the rhetoric from one side is America needs to be normal, and the other one is America needs to be normalized. And that's what I've learned. I was what we were talking about earlier. The 99% of the votes estimated have been counted in Georgia, and Donald Trump is winning 49.4% to 49.3%.
Wow.
In Pennsylvania, Donald Trump's in the lead 49.9%, and Biden's behind him 48.9%. And in Nevada, Joe Biden's up 49.4%. Donald Trump's behind 48.5%. So as we see when it comes to the election, it is an issue of what's normal and what's going to work for our country.
All right, Shah, how do you feel about the election results? Was it what you expected? Because we talked last week, I think you were kind of, you know, you definitely had a certain opinion about things. Are you surprised by the results and how strong Biden turned out to be?
Nothing surprises me with this country anymore. The fact that Trump even won in 2016, nothing can surprise you. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
true.
Fair point.
To me, everything is all smoke and mirrors. Like, you know,
like the lies are crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like it's the messaging. This is what strikes me about, like, Trump and the Republicans. Sometimes they're like, stop the vote. Then they're like, chill, recount. And then they're like, nah, keep going in this area. Like, it's like even this process, to me, like, there's a matter of leadership. You kind of see the lack of leadership on Trump's part, because remember, he called it Tuesday night. He's like, listen, bro, I already won. I'm claiming that, and that. You know what I'm saying? Mad early. And then Biden was like, chill. We're just going to fall back and be patient. And you see, like, you know, as they both talk, you know, once things start to go in Biden's favor, all of a sudden it's like, nah, chill, cheating, stop the count, da-da-da. And Biden—
You know what, though? You know what, though, Tommy? I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times I try to suppress, like, a lot of the reading that I do and a lot of the information that I gather. Because honestly, it's not interesting to the general public. But I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, the reason why Trump is even relevant is because there's a narrative and people thinking like him that white people are losing control of America. That's why they say when they say make America great again, what it means is, make other people that are not Caucasian subservient again, and make things back to where they were in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Where people, oppressed people, women, gay people, people of color, nobody had a voice but Caucasian Americans. You know what I'm saying? There's no, all this voting for everybody and all that stuff. They're not with it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, because like all like even the hate groups, like the neo-Nazis and Ku Klux Klans, like they feel that they're losing control slowly but surely to Jews, to people of color, to the LGBT community, to everybody. That's not the typical Caucasian male. You know what I mean? So those are like they look at themselves like the freedom fighters. And they're painting a picture of Democrats, like Democrats are pretty much, because you also see like a lot of Democrats actually throw in the word socialist in there. They're looking at Democrats like Democrats are trying to bring communism to America. So
how effective? Let's be real. Like how effective a deterrent? Like I don't know. Like sometimes, like I'll go on news sites and I'll read like the comment section or just like talking to people and seeing what they post on Facebook. Like, and they're like, "Yo, you liberal socialist." Like how effective is that really? Like, is like first of all, like I don't think the average person is thinking like, "Oh my God, socialite." Like, I mean, I don't know. I think.
But Trump does his thing because he gets people to panic. He gets his followers to panic and to say, "We're losing control of this country. We have to fight." It's very much
cult-like behavior.
Exactly what I said last week.
I want to. I don't mean to cut you off. I want to, Dav. Remember, I think we were talking last week, and I think we were speaking on like, remember the Trump caravans that were driving through areas and stuff like that. I personally feel like the Trump caravans and like that kind of hurt him towards the last couple of days of the election, because it just made him and his followers look crazy. And then a lot, like I said, the silent majority that we've been talking about, I think they kind of, when they seeing that in action, they're kind of like, yo, like, is this really what we want? Like, what do you think about that?
I think when it's been kind of going off the rails, I guess, for him. Mm-hmm. But I think since the debate, obviously, that was, I think, when some people really kind of saw the behavior again, like out in the forefront, and like the bullyishness and all, and then from there, like I think some people started to say like, wait a minute, like this is the president of the United States, and I know some people, there were some things about Biden too that people may not have liked, but some people, they saw that and they were shocked. It snapped some people out of their thing, and you keep it moving, and then he gets COVID, and then he's saying all types of just crazy things, and he's making all these promises, and even you hear that even his people are telling him like, stop, like
chill,
stop, like chill out, like you're still sick, like you're not, and he's out here just talking and talking and talking.
No mask, like what's up?
On these steroids, like, and it's just, and it's reckless, dude, like, because it's like, and I think people are seeing that, and they're realizing that, yes, he may have gotten over this thing in a couple of days because he's got access to drugs that nobody is gonna have access to, like for years, like, like Magic Johnson, like he had that stuff that made his HIV undetectable. That was what, 10, 15 years ago. You see them commercials, you see the commercials now for that. Now, like 15 years later. Yeah. He had that 15 years ago. So it existed. So it's like people, when you buying, like people, if you got enough money for that stuff, you can buy that stuff. So I think some of that, his behavior, the people who he was inciting, these guys in the trucks on the highways looking like Mad Max.
Bad boys.
People, I mean, like, bro, like they're literally people there are people who are fighting to get into voter registration places so they can surround people just trying to do their job.
Yeah.
And just within 6 feet so they can watch them to make sure that they're counting the election. Now listen, I get it if you believe that some fraud is taking place, but it's like, but then I look at Fox, and Fox is like, what are they trying to hide? Why are they keeping us from? I'm like, does no one realize that? Would you want to, if my job was to count ballots and I just want to come and count and do my job, like, would I want a whole crowd of people armed or just sitting there watching me like I'm trying to like it's just, and I don't know, man, it's crazy. I just think a lot of this stuff, like you said, I think people have seen this stuff and they're like, okay, this is enough. Like, this is enough of this. Not that we believe in everything that, Democrats and everything that the liberals believe, and not because the Republicans, they still have the House, or is it the Senate?
Senate.
The Senate and House.
Senate.
And they picked up the Senate and they picked up a couple of extra chairs in the House. So it's like, I think the Republicans at this point, I think some of them may have even went against their own party secretly to oust Trump, because I think they saw that nobody was going to do it who was around him, and he would just fight and fire anyone around him. I think you had some Republicans vote to get Trump out of there, just to, like you said, to get someone in here that has some return to normalcy, so people can, get their jobs back and, get the virus under control, hopefully, like,
man. Yo, Big A, what are your thoughts on this whole election, from who you thought was going to win going in to, like, are you surprised by the results? Like, just how's Biden and Trump's behavior as they're possibly maybe winning or losing? Like, how are your feelings about the whole situation?
First of all, I felt like you, Tommy. I thought, like, it would be hopeful to think that a new person could take office. And then I thought, you know what, probably Trump is going to get back in office. Like, I was like, because of all the rhetoric, all the subliminal bullying that he put out there, telling the good old boys to stand back and stand by, things like that. I thought, it was going to increase in favor for him. But as the day proceeded, and I started to see these things, the weekend prior to the actual election day, with it not only being in like New Jersey, but it being in like Georgia. They were on the highways doing it. They were doing it all across the country. It was actually a strategic plan that weekend to draw attention, and to draw more attention for Trump. Now, publicity in history always favored the person who's being talked about, but this type of publicity and all the negativity and the viral videos going around of like a woman being almost literally surrounded by Trump supporters, which made no sense, because she had a Black Lives Matter flag. She could have been a Trump supporter with a Black Lives Matter flag on a vehicle, but they assume, they equated one with the other. So it's like, there's no way that she could possibly be a Trump supporter. But because she had the one, they acquitted the other, and it just shows the ignorance. Unfortunately, that shows the ignorance that dwindles down from the leader onto the people who follow.
Yeah.
Not
to mention the bus. Remember, they were surrounding the Biden bus.
Biden bus, yeah, exactly. Now, that's not saying for every Trump supporter they're ignorant, but you have a majority that believe in the rhetoric. In the same way you have people believe in the rhetoric of Adolf Hitler. It's crazy, the similarities and how people are following a leader, no matter how ignorant he may come across or belligerent. I mean, even the both candidates, having the debate on TV, it looked bad. It just looked bad. It looked bad for Biden, because he couldn't stand his ground, and it looked bad for our current president, our current chief, and our leader, representing our country. So, I see all that just to say, like, this whole thing looks crazy. But the Electoral College is saying that it's practically predicting that Biden is going to win unless a miraculous miracle happen for our current president, who we have in office now, until the beginning of next year. So I honestly, I'm shocked that Biden had as much popular in the states that he won. Not the fact that he's winning a popular vote, but the states that he's won over, which says a lot about our current president, that a lot of people are not happy. You know, a lot of people came out in droves last election, and they were ready to just get rid of what they were used to,